Hello, this is James Valvis, and I'm going to be reading to you a poem today that was originally published in Praxilla and ultimately ended up in my book, How to Say Goodbye. It's called The Extension. The Extension by James Valvis. The plane boards and he has a window seat way in the back of coach, row 20, seat D, and he arrives before his two seatmates because nothing is more embarrassing than having to ask two people to move out please so the fat-ass Fattenheimer can grab a window. Thus he is spared this moment of indignity, and even gets the comment about the heat to a lady sitting 2 rows back, but when she shrugs, he stares at his airplane seat that seems smaller than the high chairs he sees at McDonald's, a place he knows he shouldn't frequent, but does frequently. He stows his carry-on luggage in the overhead, leaving all the legroom he can possibly get, then waddles across to his seat, apologizing to a bald spot ahead for grabbing the headrest. He plops hard, imagining it shakes the plane, and smiles at no one in grim appreciation of this minor success. Finally relaxed, he jams down the divider that will separate him and whoever the poor sap is who drew the middle seat. Now having become a 3/4 middle seat, well, there's nothing he can do about it except pray it's not a full flight, that the middle seat went unsold, or sold to a heroin chic addict. But neither is the case, and a regular woman looks in and gives him a sigh that is half hate, a quarter venom, a 16th fear, and the rest a kind of disbelief at her rotten stinking luck. She's the worst case scenario, a thickish stump who's probably struggled her entire life just to be normally fat, and hates the heavier for their lack of will and consideration for others. She takes her seat anyway, and then a tall guy sits next to her, closing off all chance of escape. There's nothing to do now, and the bathroom is impossible until the plane touches Houston 5 hours from now. Oh well, he suffered greater indignities. Like the time he tried to ride at the fair, the one where you lift up the handle and the car that's carrying you rises, only his wouldn't rise, his bulk being too much for the hydraulics, and while everyone sailed above him, he spun in his red car like a bug. Then there was the time, but the stewardess is now giving instructions about buckling up. So he grabs his belt and yanks it across the vast expanse of himself, and it stops. He yanks twice more, not quite believing. The lady next to him sniffs with satisfaction. He sits straighter, and when it only helps a bit, he sucks in with all his strength, but remains an inch from connecting the male and female, and hearing the glorious snaps skinny people never think twice about, like they never think twice about anything, how they glide from place to place, how they can fit in diner booths without being sawed in two by the edge of the table, how they can sit in their children's desks during parent-teacher talks, how they can step on a cat without killing it. He gives it one more go, but it's no use. For the first time in his life, he will have to ask for an extension, the strip of extra belt they give the opprobrious obese. And he'll have to shout this request across two strangers. Certain others will hear too, including the stewardess who smiled at him when he stepped on the plane, smiled like he was a normal man, when he was indeed still somewhat normal. And he said to himself, in what seemed now the last thought of an old life, maybe she likes a guy a little on the husky side. This was James Valvis reading his poem, The Extension. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this poem. And as always, thank you for listening, and God bless you.